The tongue is divided into two parts: the oral part, which is the anterior two-third, and the pharyngeal part, which is the posterior one-third. The oral part of the tongue develops from three swellings associated with the first pharyngeal arch. These swellings include the two lateral lingual swellings and one median swelling, the tuberculum impar. The pharyngeal part of the tongue develops from a median swelling called the hypobrachial eminence or the copula of His, associated with the second, third, and fourth pharyngeal arches. The first pharyngeal arch is also called the mandibular arch. Trigeminal nerve, which is the fifth cranial nerve, is the nerve of the first arch. The facial and the glossopharyngeal nerves are the nerves of the second and the third arch. Superior laryngeal nerve, a branch of the vagus nerve, is the nerve of the fourth arch, and recurrent laryngeal nerve, also a branch of the vagus nerve, is the nerve of the sixth arch. The two lateral lingual swellings overgrow the tuberculum impar and merge with each other to form anterior two-third of the tongue. The line of fusion of two lingual swellings in the median plane forms median sulcus on the dorsal surface of the tongue. The tuberculum impar does not form any recognizable part of the adult tongue. Since mucous membrane covering the anterior two-third of the tongue develops from the first pharyngeal arch, it is innervated by the mandibular branch of the trigeminal nerve. If you recall, trigeminal nerve has three branches: ophthalmic, maxillary, and mandibular. The general sensations of the anterior two-thirds of the tongue is by the lingual nerve, which is a branch of the mandibular nerve. However, the taste sensations of the anterior two-thirds is by the chorda tympani branch of the facial nerve, which is the pretraumatic branch of the facial nerve. Caudal to the tubercular impar, a second large median swelling called the hypobrachial eminence develops in the floor of the primitive pharynx in relation to the second, third, and fourth pharyngeal arches. The hypobrachial eminence soon subdivides into a large cranial part and a small caudal part. The posterior one-third of the tongue, including circumvallate papillae, develop from the cranial part of the hypobrachial eminence. The line of fusion of the anterior two-third and the posterior one-third of the tongue is indicated by a V-shaped groove, the sulcus terminalis. Since the mucous membrane of the posterior one-third of the tongue develops from the third pharyngeal arch, it is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve, the nerve of the third arch. The posterior-most part of the tongue and the epiglottis develops from the caudal part of the hypobrachial eminence. Since the mucous membrane of the posterior part of the tongue and epiglottis develop from the fourth brachial arch, it is supplied by the superior laryngeal nerve, which is the nerve of the fourth arch. So, the first arch formed the anterior two-third of the tongue, the third arch formed the posterior one-third, and the fourth arch formed the posterior-most part of the tongue. So what exactly happened to the second arch then? During this sequence of events, the third arch mesoderm grows over the mesoderm of the second arch and fuses with the mesoderm of the first arch. Thus, the second arch gets buried underneath the third arch and thereby gets excluded from the tongue's development. So yes, the mucous membrane of the tongue is formed from the pharyngeal arches. What's important to note is that the muscles of the tongue develop from the myoblasts that migrate into the developing tongue from the occipital myotomes. The hypoglossal nerve, that is, the nerve of the occipital myotomes, accompanies the myoblasts during their migration to the pharyngeal arches and innervates the muscles of the tongue as they develop. The migration of the occipital myotomes to the developing tongue explains the course of the hypoglossal nerve.